Hello guys, it's Tony here from Caveman Props. I'm back today with another tutorial for you, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on a Star Trek phaser. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you may remember a little while ago I made the phaser from Star Trek Discovery and did the tutorial for this. If you haven't seen it, you need to subscribe and go and watch that now. But what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing another phaser because since we're doing the Discovery phaser, we have a new TV series, the Picard TV series with Patrick Stewart, and of course there's a new phaser in that one. There was some brilliant weapons in that series if you've watched it that have really caught my eye. So I've been working on a few of them, and this is the first one. So I'm going to be working on the Starfleet new phaser on that one. So I've had a look at it and I've done a tutorial, a template on it, which I think would work quite well. I'm going to run through with you how to build from that template. Now hopefully if I've got it all sorted, that template will be available on our Etsy page, so you should be able to go and download a copy of that template, and if you want to follow along with the same template that I'm using today. So we're going to crack on now and have a look and show you how to build the new Star Trek phaser. Okay, so to start with, you're going to want part 1 from the template. Now I put on this ×3 because I'm working in 10mm foam, so I want to have 3 layers of this, so you want to cut it out 3 times and then get them together, and you can just go around the edges with a sander just to smooth them off. If you've got access to thicker foam, then brilliant, and do it in that, because you're going to want it to be about 30mm wide or 3 centimeters wide on that. I'm working with 10mm foam, so I want 3 layers. If you're lucky like me and have something like access to a scroll saw, what I've done is I've layered 3 lots of foam together and then cut it out as one. So we've cut that out, so I've got that as the 30mm nice thick layer there. With these bits, what you can do, you can try and cut it out in the middle, or like with the scroll saw, drill a hole in it and then try and get the blade sorted through the middle, or you can just cheat like I did and I cut through the bottom bit here and here, cut these bits out, and then I've just glued them back on, so that's no sort of problem there. So we've got this is going to be our main body that we are going to work on now. So to start with, I'm going to get the sander out and we're going to add some detail in this. So we want to just curve this bit off, so it's curved, and then curve these bits for the handles there. So you're going to want to make a nice curve so it fits comfortably in the hand and is sort of a bit smoother there. And then we're going to do a little back detail to the handle, and then we're going to work on the top bits up here. Right, so there we go. So I've added a little bit of curve to this handle, and it does make it a lot more easier to hold now. There's no sharp corners. We've got the trigger bits there, so it's all looking quite good. And then what I've done is I've taken the details from here, put them on, and I've just used a soldering iron just to burn those bits in. You can try and cut them out, or cut them and then when we heat it they'll show up, but I've done it with the soldering iron, so it's all depending on what works well for you. So we've done that bit, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to move on to templates parts 2 and 3. So I have them here. Obviously part 2 says ×2, this one says ×1, and I have done them already because they're going to be mirror image, so you want these 2 bits to be one side and then the other, then this bit's over the top. What we're going to do is going to transpose the details onto this. If you have the template for this, it's quite easy. If you want, you just cut the end bits down, lay it on and mark it out, or you can just freehand it best as you want. With this one, what I'm going to say is this box is going to be cut out, so we cut that box out. That's going to need to be cut out of this piece as well. I haven't done that yet, just thought of that. And then we're going to transpose these markings on. And then once they're done, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Right, okay, so we've moved the details onto this, and what we're going to do is I'm going to use my fine tipped soldering iron, and on the side panels I'm going to burn these details into it. The top bit I'm going to leave for a little bit. I might just do this bit and this line. I'm going to leave the front and the back for the moment, and I'll explain why when we come to it. We'll get to that a little bit later on. So to start with, I'm going to work with these ones. Use a ruler roughly as a guide, but obviously I don't want to burn the ruler. And we're just going to use the soldering iron nicely just to get the details in and get this sorted. So I'm going to carry on, get all the details done on both of these, and then we'll get the top section put together. Okay, so I've finished etching all the details in down here on the side, and I've now joined it to the top part, so I should have, well, you should have now a part like this. So obviously I've done these bits here, but what I've done is I've left off the other bits so I can now join them up, because as you see one of them doesn't quite line up there, so now I can play about with it. I'm going to get the soldering iron, line these bits up, and now etch these details in and make everything line up so it looks like it nicely flows. What I'm also going to do is, obviously we've got this one that comes up here and then doesn't really go anywhere, so the second one in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to etch in down here and then etch along the seam here up to there. So we're going to use the seam to kind of mask it a little bit as the details we're going to put in. So I'm going to get that on now, and then that is then ready to go on the main part of the body. Alright, so I've gone and stuck this top piece on now, and it's starting to look quite good. What I've also done, which I'd forgotten about, is the grips on the handle here. So I've just cut some strips here out of 2mm EVA foam, so it's quite small, and then just wrapped them around the bits of the handle there and cut them to length. So it makes it quite good. I've also gone and put a small little piece of 5mm foam in along the bottom here. That gives us this recessed bit there and kind of joins that all in. So as you can see, we're getting there. It's really starting to look quite good now. So we're going to move on to the next piece, and you want these bits for the template. So you've got that top bit, this bit, and then this tiny little bit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut two of these out in 5mm foam, one for either side. This is the top section, so we just want one piece in 5mm foam, and this piece I'm going to do in 2mm foam, and I've already gone and cut them out. So we're going to add the details to this. This one's quite simple, it's just the one line around the bottom there. This section I'm going to cut out of another piece of 2mm foam, and that's going to be stuck on, so that's just going to be a small raised bit on the side there. I've also cut this and marked this on. What I'm going to do with the detail in here, this bit's just marked on because this piece, which I cut out of 2mm foam, is going to sit on the top there, but this bit's going to be marked in. So I'm going to mark in this rectangle in the middle here with the soldering iron. The lines are on the outside here on the soldering iron, and then leave it, and then we're going to put it together, and I'm going to finish off the last bits on the soldering iron, and I'll show you them as we get to it. But I'm not going to stick this bit on to here until we've got it connected to these pieces, so I can get the curve to go in with it. So we're going to crack on now. I'm going to add the details to these and get them together. I've got this all together. I've stuck the 2mm bit on here, got this on. I've done the rectangle bit here. I'd also done this line here, which I'd forgotten to mention about, but we've got that all together now. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish off the detailing. So basically, like before, we're going to bring this line down, and we're going to use the seam line to join it up to this one. So obviously it is quite smelly, so make sure you got your mask. And then also what we're going to do is we're going to do the details in the back here. So I'm going to join these bits across to make that line. You probably can't see them, it's quite dark on this foam, but obviously following template. So we're going to have a line bit across the back here, which is going to be black, this bit in the middle, and then it's going to have some lines going across it. So I'm going to get the ruler, get them all on, get all these lines sorted, and then this can then is ready to go on the top of the main part of the gun. There we go. I just wanted to show you this in place now that I've got it in. You can see all the detailing, so I've done all the way around that bit there, joined up these bits at the bottom here and then done the detailing. You can see that now quite clearly on that part, so that's all ready. All I've got left now to do is the front bit that will slot in here, so we're going to get that bit done, and then hopefully we should be ready for coating and painting. And I've got quite an interesting idea on how I'm going to paint this gun. So we're going to use a mixture of painting and dry brushing. So we're going to crack on with this top bit, and then hopefully we can get it painted and finished. So for the last bit that we're going to add on to it, you'll need these two bits. These are the smallest part of the template. I'm going to put a note on there. So this one you're going to need to be about 15mm in thickness. So what I've done is I've stuck a piece of 5mm and 10mm together, and this piece is just a normal piece of 5mm. It's going to sit on the top. So I've already done those, so you've got them. So this is obviously now 15mm wide. You can just see where I've glued that bit on. I glued the two bits together and then cut it, and then cut this out. Now you might see that there is a slight difference in the size here to the templates, because once I cut these out I sort of gave them a test to see if they would go in, and when I put this piece on, I put this on a little bit too far forward, so I had trouble putting this in, which means I've had to cut a piece off the back here, and because of that it means I've had to shorten this piece as well to go in, because otherwise it would have just sat too far forward and would have flopped. So I had to cut these down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the template as it is, and it's down to you. Cut the pieces as they are, and then see if they fit, and cut them down to fit on size. So it should go in like that. So what we're going to do now I've got them correct, we're going to work on the detailing. So obviously this one is just the border round in there, so I'm going to adjust that to fit in there. This one, what I'm going to do is we're going to use the ruler, and with the soldering iron again we're just going to do some lines going down it, same sort of distance apart. And once we've got that done, what we're going to do is we're just going to do a small little bit of detail just in here. We're going to do that in sections. We're going to obviously do this on the other side, and obviously I'm going to do something on the front here as well. I think I'm going to basically do the same patterning, so I'm going to get a little bit of that detailing in there like that. That, and then what I'm going to do is replicate that detailing on the opposite side here, and that should be ready to go in, and the borders around there. Okay, so there we are. So I've glued those bits in. I got the wedge in there first, and I glued this bit so it was flush with there, and then we got it to come out to there. So that's now all in, and that's the final piece of detail that we need to add to this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the heat gun out. I'm going to run the heat gun over this gently just to seal the outside of the foam, and then I'm going to brush it down with a thin coat of latex. If you don't have latex, you can use something like a PVA glue. With that you'll probably have to apply at least 3 to 4 coats of it, leaving it a good day to dry. If the weather's quite good, you can probably do one in the morning and one in the afternoon, but give it a thin coat, let it dry, another thin coat. That will seal it in. And then what I'll do is I'll spray it down with a plastic primer, and then we're going to spray it with a black paint. I've got black plastic paint, and then we'll add the final details to that. Right, so here we are at the moment. This has been coated, it was primed, and then was sprayed with the black. Unfortunately, all I had was a black gloss. I thought I still had some satin black, which would have been slightly better, but this doesn't work too badly, so got a nice gloss effect that's going to be on the black bits here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add the silver detail, and what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use dry brushing technique, sort of quite a heavy dry brush technique. So looking at the pictures, this line down the bottom here is going to be silver, and then this bit will be silver, leaving this line black, whereas on this bit the bottom line is black and this bit silver, and obviously we'll follow that round where we did the light, so this will all be black, this bit will be silver, and then we just have this strip and this bit in here to be done gold. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to use the brush to get this on around here. So we're going to take it nice and steady, brush it. It's going to give it a slightly more metallic and used look about it, hopefully. And so we're going to do some of that, and I'll show you that. So we're taking it slowly and steadily. The brush, we're drying a lot of it off, and we're just brushing it on, hopefully with that gloss as well, going to help make it that little bit more shiny, a little bit more metallic. So just need to be a bit more careful as we get to the edges. So I'm going to carry that on, carry this bit on around here, and then obviously the opposite on the opposite side and across the top, and hopefully that will then start looking really good. Right, so there we go guys, this is now a finished prop. Obviously it's all lovely and dried, you can hopefully see all the detailing on there. After I'd finished the silver, I did kind of think it was a little bit too clean, a little bit too bright. So what I've done is I've done some more dry brushing over the top of the silver, this time with a graphite, so more of a gunmetal grey colour, and I think it's really kind of just brought that out just a little bit better and made it look better. There are a few patches that are a little bit heavier than before, but that kind of takes it as it is. So this is now a finished prop, and obviously all the silver bits. So there we go. Let us know what you think. Do you like this phaser? I know there's a little bit of conspiracy, not so many people are liking this one so much compared to some of the others. Do you like the new Picard one, or do you prefer the Discovery one, or maybe you have a completely different phaser from the Star Trek series that you like? But please like, please subscribe, give us a comment in the bottom what you think. You know, tell us which one you like is best. And obviously I put the template for this one is up on our Etsy store. You can go and purchase that now. I also went through all the bits I did for this one, so the Discovery one, the templates are now available on the Etsy store as well. You can follow that through with the video, hopefully try and create your own one of these as well. So there we go guys. So thanks for watching, please like, please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next tutorial very soon.